Springtime in South Africa and the rest of the world is a crucial time for beekeepers. It's when our colonies start to grow and prepare for the honey flow. But before we can enjoy those sweet rewards, it's so essential for us to do spring maintenance.
6 o'clock in the morning now. As soon as the sun is up and it's a little bit warmer, we're about to do our spring maintenance today. And our hives are out here in the bush, and you'll see how we do that and prepare our bees for the flow that is going to happen in the next, I would say, the next 30 days, the next month. We're hoping to get rain. As soon as we start getting rain, then this bushveld turns from this sort of brown color to a beautiful, beautiful green.
In this video, I'm going to share with you why it's so important to do your spring maintenance and how I do it to be prepared for the African honey flow. While there are some fundamental differences between the African honeybee and the more commonly kept European honeybee, be sure to subscribe because I'm going to make a video about the differences between the two species in the future. The experiences I'm sharing with you are based on my experience with the African honeybee. Look, if you're a lazy beekeeper and there's many of them around, then doing spring maintenance is actually not that critical. Your colonies will produce new swarms, which is great for the reproduction and the sustainability of the honeybee, but they're not going to produce a lot of honey. And if you're not interested in harvesting honey from your hives, then that's also okay because you're just contributing to the sustainability of the species in the world. We prefer to build strong colonies that are capable of foraging more than they need to, and so we don't feel so guilty when we go into their hives and we rob them of the honey that they've produced. And it's not going to put our colonies at a disadvantage if we harvest that honey. So for us, spring maintenance is vital, and the first reason is swarm prevention. What we know is the queen slows down her laying during the winter. This keeps the colony at a sustainable size relative to the food that's available. And what we do to assist them during the winter to make sure that they don't have to keep a large cavity warm is we remove all our supers and we have a single brood box that we scale them down to. But this introduces risks for us when spring comes along, as the cavity is quite small, and when the queen starts to increase the laying of eggs, the bees are going to quite quickly run out of space. By inspecting our hives and taking proactive measures to prevent this, we'll ensure that the colony can grow rapidly and the queen can lay more eggs in preparation for the spring flow. During our inspections, we observe the health of the colony, and we'll also have a look at the condition of the comb. So in previous inspections, we have been moving old comb to the outsides of the box, and we'll start to remove this now during our spring maintenance.
It's got a lot of drone on it. So you see there, it's all drone.
Yeah.
So I might move that one towards the outside.
Generally, this comb on the outside of the box is filled with honey and sometimes pollen. So the bees aren't using that, and the queen is laying in a small area within the center of the box. Now this honey on the outside gets capped, and generally the bees won't clean out that honey, which means there's a reduction in space for the queen to lay eggs. We call this a honey-logged hive. We go ahead and remove these frames and replace them with new fresh frames with 100% beeswax foundation sheets in. The bees love this and they expand it out really, really quickly. This also ensures that the colony now has enough room for them to expand. We are very fortunate not to have to deal with varroa and other diseases here in South Africa. Our bees are really, really strong and they seem to deal with these issues quite efficiently. So the only other thing that we're going to look for during this inspection is a strong laying queen that we know is going to produce a healthy colony. The second part of our spring maintenance is to increase the storage space within the hive so that the bees have more storage than what they possibly need, and that way we know we're going to be able to rob this hive of honey once the flow is over. Bees naturally will continue to fill any empty space within the hive with resources, and so we find ourselves as beekeepers in the fortunate state of being able to take this honey from them without placing the hive in an unsustainable position. It's a beautiful symbiotic relationship when beekeepers and the bees work together really, really well. As the colony grows, we'll add more supers if we see the bees are highly productive. This maintenance, well-called spring maintenance, is actually in preparation for the spring flow and is done right at the end of winter. We try and time this right to make the colony even stronger for the flow. We will stimulate the queen just before we know it's going to start by feeding the colony a thin sugar syrup and providing a pollen substitute. And by doing this, the queen thinks the flow's already started and she starts to increase the laying of eggs.
That is full babies. This queen is so strong.
It's actually quite exciting to see how quickly these colonies expand, and a well-managed hive by the beekeeper can actually be something that's super surprising, where you can see the ebbs and flows of what happens during all of the seasons. And if you want to see a hive through the entire year that we tracked, then I highly recommend you take a look at this next video.
Just super, hold on, you've got so many bees on you.
You're lucky they don't sting you already.
Put smoke on yourselves and then now